What do you think are going to be the next big trend in the crypto market?
Yeah, I think one of the big trends is going to be the growth of derivatives, a broader range of products, which I think will be really important. And I also think that another big growth trend is going to be this kind of blended solution between centralization and decentralization. So one of the things that we do, for example, is that intraday everything is done off-chain, but at the end of the day we net out those positions and then there's an on-chain transaction. And so each client can actually see what they own. So we're actually using the benefits of blockchain in the exchange, and I think that's going to be demanded more and more by customers.
Would you say that over time all the exchanges will be regulated?
I think there's definitely going to be probably a landscape of regulated and unregulated, just based on different jurisdictions. We are highly regulated, but I think one of the things that's important is to go above and beyond regulation. So, for example, we do not allow employees to trade crypto because of potential insider information and front running. We surveil our markets as well because we think that is something that customers and our partners want. No regulator sets that requirement. So I think that regulation, more and more platforms will become regulated, but I think it's important that groups go above and beyond regulation, and that will be set by customers.
Okay. And would you say that we are currently in the crypto winter, or is it already spring?
I think we're certainly seeing volumes increase. Being at this conference, people are bullish in terms of some of the use cases. I think what was interesting during the so-called crypto winter was that people became more focused on some of the fundamental questions about the space, some of the fundamental, what are the real projects, and there was also a flight to quality. So, for example, in terms of the exchange space, as returns came down, people had to ask themselves some of the tough questions about where they were trading, what they were trading, and I think it's actually allowed the industry to really consolidate around some of the more legitimate areas of the business.
And what needs to happen for another rally to emerge, according to you?
I think people become very, focused on price. I don't think price is necessarily the most important thing for the growth of this industry, but clearly it's the use cases, and that's what will drive value, and that will be reflected in price.
The next big trend in the ecosystem is going to be IEO, or it's going to be stable coins or tokenized assets.
I think probably stable coins and tokenized assets. I think stable coins are interesting. It allows for the more frictionless movement of essentially a fiat asset, and I think that it increases the velocity of movement of money. And I think also tokenized assets are very interesting. There's a lot of use cases that are being pushed forward, especially by some of the big groups. And I think the value of tokenized assets is that you get the proof of where those assets have come from all the way through the life cycle of that asset. Gold is already being tokenized, cobalt, other precious metals. I think that's going to be a big growth area.
Would you say that the current market stability is getting people to be more focused on technology?
I think that we've definitely started to have other questions raised. I don't know if that's driven by relatively low periods of volatility for these assets, but it's definitely raising more questions. It's no longer becoming a question of just volatility or just price. I think it's becoming a more mature asset classes by some of the conversations that have evolved beyond just that.